Are you taking responsibility or are you taking blame? Welcome to the Light Revolution. My name is Tanya Kamernick, and this is spiritual growth in day-to-day life. Hence what we got going on here, right? Because when information strikes, it strikes now, and I don't want to wait to share it with you. I'm going to give it to you how I got it. So, responsibility. It's one of those really, really cool words. When we're creating our lives, we get to take responsibility for our lives, our actions, our emotions, the way we create our lives, the way we show up. But what is responsibility? What does it actually mean to you, and how do you act through responsibility? Now, I know how it's told to us. I know what it means to say, okay, I'm the creator here. I can change what I'm doing here. But for a lot of us, responsibility has meant taking blame for outcomes. It's meant taking blame for other people's emotions. It's meant taking blame for this, that, and the other thing. It shows up in a lot of places. And this is something that's solidified in childhood, right? Because that's often where I'm coming from, is that inner child place, that place from 0 to 7. That's where our subconscious lives, and that's where this comes from. But what it does is in our energetic field, when we are unconsciously taking responsibility, but actually taking blame, this is responsibility in it's one of its most limited forms. In its expanded form, in its light form, in its most honorable form, responsibility is, hey, this is me. I get to show up here as me. I get to come authentically. I get to say, this is how I feel. This is what I want in this situation. This is where I'm focusing, and this is what I'm directing. But responsibility in its limited form is taking blame for the way other people act, the way other people think, the way other people feel. Or it also can look like trying to control the way other people act, think, or feel. And those are kind of two of the sticky ends together, is the taking blame and the control. They're a circle. I want to say synonymous, but that's totally not the right word. There's some word that's coming from you, and I feel like some of you are shouting what the actual word is. But anyway, that's where those are coming from, that really limited place. And this kind of control and blame ball gets stuck in your energetic field. It gets stuck in your quantum signature. Your quantum signature is the totality of all that you are. And it gets stuck and it mucks it up. And that ripples out into your quantum field, into your perspective, and it creates situations where responsibility is taking blame. Until you step up to the plate and say, okay, responsibility here is me directing my focus. Responsibility here is what I can do to change this. Now, this comes from a place of where you got to take responsibility for other people in your childhood. It comes from that unconscious place of having to protect yourself, quite frankly, because protecting yourself meant managing other people's emotions so you felt safe. It meant cutting off from a piece of you, your authentic self, to hide from others so you were safe as a child. And it can come very naturally, it can come very innocently, because children go through all kinds of things and stuff just happens, but it can also come through severe limitation and different kind of traumatic experiences as well. So it can come from a lot of different places, but wherever it's come from, this is one of those really tiny, minute things that when you can stop through your day and look at a situation and say, okay, my responsibility here, how am I taking responsibility for this? How am I showing up in my responsibility? Am I saying, okay, I'm going to speak up for how I feel, no matter if it hurts somebody else's feelings, right? If they don't understand it, I'm going to speak up and say, okay, I feel this here, and this is the outcome I want. This is where I'm going to direct, and these are the tools that I'm going to take to get there. These are the behaviors I'm going to adopt, or I'm going to create within myself. These are the perspectives I'm going to create within myself so I can create a different outcome. Or is Or is your responsibility coming from a situation saying, oh yeah, like I'm responsible for that. I'm the one who created that. I'm the one who, that's because of me that happened. Do you see the difference? It's a blame, and that comes from a place of shame and a place of worthlessness. And this will create an energetic field that will kind of ripple more out, right? We'll start to attract like binge quality behaviors, maybe watching too much TV, eating too much, smoking, drinking, any of that. That kind of shame will attract those behaviors, and you'll start acting that way, and it'll attract people and situations and stuff. But when we say responsibility, it's like, okay, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to create a different outcome by saying, you know what, I love myself enough to say, this is how I want to direct my energy. This is where I want to put my focus. This is what I want to create. This is who I want to be in this situation. That is a higher vibration that will clean all that other muck up. I don't necessarily, like it'll kind of backwash that stuff, right? This higher perspective of responsibility will actually wash all of that away, right? Like I can even feel that when I'm moving here, or you can tell I'm like doing my energy work here, but that actually, it moves it and it washes away, almost like a tsunami, right? Because that's that ripple effect. That's how energy works. That's how our quantum signature works, is when you evolve something, when you evolve an emotion, when you evolve a perspective, when you move through something, backwashes all the other stuff. When we're trying to create here, when we're trying to undo this and untangle this, it actually just makes it more tangly, right? But to come here and redirect all of that energy, just leave it there and redirect it here and be like, okay, this is where I'm going to come from. You move all of that. You get rid of all of that. So responsibility. Evolve your version of responsibility when you go throughout your day, when you go throughout your thought process, when you engage with other people, when you do your own, your own work. I love journaling and I love writing stuff down and all of that kind of stuff. But here it is, right in the midst of your life, this massive opportunity to shift this little tiny thing. And this little tiny perspective, this little tiny thought change is the butterfly effect, right? That this tiny little thing creates massive movement in lots of different places of your life. So there you go. I gave it all to you. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I love it when you show up to these. I love sharing this kind of information. Share it with other people. Comment and subscribe to the page so I can keep this kind of stuff going, so I can keep this kind of stuff coming to you, right? Because we all deserve spiritual growth and we all deserve these tiny, minute changes. And I want to get it out to as many people as possible because it's time for us. It's time for us to understand this and to step into our powers and become those incredible versions of us that we know is locked in there, that's just screaming, that's ready for us to grab life by both hands, right? Like double fist life. And just really enjoy it and really love it. And this is one of those tiny little things that makes incredible shifts. In the meantime, until I see you, you know how this goes. Think deep, dream big, and spread light.